This is the All Things Nerd Podcast, Season 3, Episode 26. On tonight's show, we get started for our SDCC prep. That would be San Diego Comic-Con for you people not in the know, with a Marvel trivia game. Along with that, we're going to try out a new segment. We always do nerd news, but this week we're going to have some rapid-fire nerd news, and we'll get more into detail of how that goes. Along with a couple major topics in terms of video game television shows and James Wan's next film for DC after Aquaman. So sit back, relax, and here's the intro. Hello to all the Geek Enthusiasts and Nerd Aficionados. It is I, Mess5150, back for another All Things Nerd podcast. The host with not the most to talk about all things nerd.
The host with some.
Some, yeah. Just a little bit. I got a smidgeling, a small percentage. Yeah, so this is the All Things Nerd podcast, streaming live on Twitch every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/Malice Corp, or you can listen to it wherever you can find podcasts, especially Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google, podcast.com, anywhere that you can find them, or over at YouTube at our Malice Corp channel, or come to our main website, malice-corp.com. Follow us over there and come chit-chat with us at any time, and then we'll tell you other places that you can talk with us later. You have me, your host, Mess5150, on the show. Also joining us on the show, I have three other compatriots in crime. First and foremost, Super Hoovian Freak is here on the cast. How are you, ma'am? Madam?
Good. It's been a long week, but it's good.
Good. And then I'm glad. We also have Masonic Vader on the cast with us. How are you, sir?
I am doing well, but you cannot get me on any charges. You have not caught me. And I just recently noticed that if I turn my headset this way, I look like a Lobot from Empire Strikes Back. Good times.
Yes, you do.
I shaved my head.
The charges thing is scaring me now.
Are you being detained?
I was a partner in crime, so I was like,
Nope.
you haven't caught me yet.
Oh, I said cohorts in crime.
Well, close enough.
I haven't put you quite on the partner level yet. But
Wow.
we also have last on our cast that's here that you can see on camera. We have Ice-T Zorro. How are you, sir?
I'm amused. You absolutely look like Lobot. That was fantastic.
Thank you very much.
And in our chat room, we have our producer, our main person in crime, I guess. I don't know. The guy that makes sure that everything's running over here. Jack Mouse is in the chat room, so you can chat with him if you're ever watching these live. And Red Meepaw joins us in the chat room as well. How's the paw, Red?
Well, apparently the vision's off because there's no way I look like Princess Leia. Come on now, dude.
Well, it's those ears.
It's the ears.
I mean, let's see you in the slave metal bikini first. You know,
Oh, no.
and we'll make our judgments.
Hey, you know what? That could be the special thing for the subscriber. So
Wow.
Twitch has a new
Subscribe.
thing. Twitch has a new thing that if you're a subscriber to the channel, you can actually watch videos from us that are for subscribers only to check out. Which, if there's something that you want us to do, we're looking at either doing some special different shows or even doing like commentary over films or TV shows that you can watch with us. You won't actually be able to see it here. It's just us talking, but then you can watch at the same time. Let us know what you'd be interested in, and that way you can subscribe to the channel and come back for some more stuff. So
Please suggest terrible movies. I'm already good at it. I want to see everybody else suffer.
I'd be fine with that. That wouldn't bother me at all. Okay, so we got a lot to cover on tonight's cast, mainly because there was a lot of things that were interesting, but not like full on topic. To give like a good 5-10 minutes of chatter to. So to get right into them, the first and foremost thing that we're gonna do is get your geek on.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Talk about things that we've been doing over the week that you should be checking out. Let us know in the chat room what things you've been doing that we should be checking out. And yeah, I'm gonna go first because my geek out is so recent. It just happened yesterday. I talked last week, and I've been binge watching YouTube channel Retro Replay with the voice actors of Nolan North and Troy Baker, where they play old video games. Not very good at it, which is hilarious because Nolan apparently never really played video games at all. So watching him rage quit on stuff is fantastic. But they just go into these side little conversations that are hilarious and fun. Well, the reason that I got turned on to that channel was I saw on a marquee at the Improv by where I live that they were doing a Retro Replay live show. And I was like, what's Retro Replay? I looked it up, fell in love with it. And I bought tickets this last Monday to actually go to it. And it was fantastic. It was super fun. It was exciting. Laughed a lot. They played Aladdin on stage they kept playing the carpet ride level, which was very hard. And
how many times did they burst into song?
They had one full song written out where Nolan actually played like a fake saxophone on stage. Like did a full on like
Lost Boys 80, mid 80s, greased up the big chain and a saxophone just going to town.
No, not to that extent, but it was still hilarious because what it was is one of the catchphrase songs is they sang a song when they were playing Ghosts and Goblins, and they're like, Seamus the Knight is chopping down zombies and trying to save his woman, and then because in Ghosts and Goblins you always lose your armor, Nolan yells out, and I'm naked. And so it became this big thing, and that they created a full like 3-minute song to it. And Troy, having band background, was singing the whole time, and then Nolan kept yelling, and I'm naked, and then they played the fake sax. So
I just wanted to, it was Troy that was singing the Jasmine parts, right?
Well, that's the funny thing. That's how they ended the show, with that song, and actually sang the whole song. And yes, Troy did sing the Jasmine parts.
Awesome.
And Nolan sang the Aladdin parts. They walked around the entire audience during that time. My wife got a high five from Troy, and then was gonna get one from Nolan, but he missed her hand, is what she said.
Oh.
Like, I guess he like went and did the miss. The really cool thing was they had a surprise guest, and it was, I can't remember his name now, Kahul, the doctor from iZombie, Kahul. No.
Oh, I love that guy.
Una Matata.
The guy that plays Ravi.
Yeah, the funny thing was they actually talked about iZombie. Like, did you think it would get 5 seasons? He's like, no, it's a stupid name. I didn't think it'd get picked up after a pilot.
At least he's
5 years later.
Yeah. So, and he's doing a voice on Gears of War 5. So that's part of the reason that he's now into this fold. And it was just a fun night. It was really, really enjoyable. So check out Retro Replay. They're not sponsored by us. We don't, none of that, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. Just check it out. And Ruru2 joins us in the chat room as well. What about you guys? I see you've been geeking out on anything this week?
Yeah, I'm still in the middle of binging Gotham. I kind of slowed down for a little bit, so I just finished season 3, and I've heard that season 4 is better than season 3. First 2 seasons were great. Third season, but I've heard that Marina Baccarin, especially in season 4, makes it worth it. Also, I just started reading a new book that came out on Kindle. It's part 2 of a series, and apparently completes the series. I think I talked about reading the first one a couple months ago, but the book is called The Solar War. It's book 2 of the Long Winter series about aliens trying to erase humanity by very long range means, by trying to like break out, block out the sun. It's interesting stuff.
If you don't have the chat and you're not here live, you're missing out on some fun. Vader, you have a very big fan looking to get you into that Princess Leia suit. They would enjoy to see you in the Princess Leia.
We said $9.99 for the first minute, $2 each additional minute.
Yep.
You even
make that money, girl.
You even got a rar to be put into it. What about you, Super? What have you been geeking out on?
Good. You know what? I am almost done. I've got one more episode left to go of Good Omens on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen it yet, you should watch it. The cast is amazing. I've so missed David Tennant on my television since he wasn't, really in the second season of Jessica Jones. And something about him and Michael Sheen, Michael Sheen, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I mess up the name all the time. So Michael Sheen, they are hilarious together, and I'm so looking forward to seeing if they do another season or continue or.
Well, Amazon Prime will be doing
Yeah.
another season.
Netflix will
Not
not.
Netflix promised they will not make any more Good Omens.
Yeah.
And on the same token, Amazon has promised not to make any more Stranger Things. So
Exactly.
Lastly, Masonic Vader, what have you been geeking out on?
Oh, well, there are a couple things. First of all, my son and I have started taking martial arts classes about a month and a half ago. So thought it was fitting that he start watching some classic martial arts movies. And I started him off with The Karate Kid. Yeah. Yes, he watched it. He enjoyed it. It was a good time. And it's actually to be quite funny because I watched a little bit of the YouTube.
We better laugh now because you said to be quite funny.
No, how he's training and everything like that and all the mess ups and everything. I kind of see that now. I totally understand it. Good times. The other thing I'm geeking out on is we were talking about earlier is you know what? I can't watch soccer unless it's World Cup. And man, watching the women's soccer team dominate this World Cup has been incredible. So it's that's been my geek out for the week.
Yeah, I just want to be friends with Rapinoe. She seems awesome.
Jack says about Good Omens, Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman only wrote the one book, but who knows? Maybe I think they'll look to do more.
I was wondering if they were going to pick up writers to write their own content. I don't know. I'm a little torn. Will it hold up to the original writing? We'll see. We'll see what Amazon does.
What do you guys think? Ruru2 asked in the chat room, what's the best martial arts movie ever? Red Meatball has said Ip Man is good, which is a good anime, and then Drunken Master is a classic. What do you guys think? What's the best martial arts movie ever?
Last Dragon, Bruce Leroy.
Yeah.
No, not what's the best worst movie ever?
Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle, absolutely. I agree with
Kung
that.
Fu Hustle.
I would.
Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Oh God,
no.
That movie was terrible.
Hashtag best Kung Fu movie. Let us know on Twitter. Hashtag best Kung Fu. Hashtag all things nerd. Let us know what you think is the best Kung Fu movie of all time. So let's get into our SDCC prep. San Diego Comic-Con is 3 weeks away, so we're getting prepped and ready for it. In 3 weeks, we will have the week prior to San Diego Comic-Con, we will have our San Diego Comic-Con programming show where we're going to break down the program, talk about the fantastic panels that need to be checked out, and the diamonds in the rough that just looked so amazing that somebody's got to try and check them out. Along with that, we'll have a special guest that will be at San Diego Comic-Con for the first time as a seller, and they are part of the Nerd Life Crisis podcast as well. So they'll be joining us for the cast to talk about San Diego Comic-Con. So guys, come join us for that. But in order to get prepared, we decided to start doing our little trivia games. And this week we're going to do a Marvel-centric trivia, talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And if you've never seen the trivia games, we started something new last time, and I'm going to reiterate what it is so that everybody knows how it works. You have two special things that each person on this cast gets to use. One is called swoop, and swooping is that you can steal somebody's question if you think they have the right answer, or if they haven't answered yet and you think you have the right answer, you can steal that from them and take the points. And the other one is a duh, which means that you think the question is so hard that the other person that you throw it to will not be able to get the answer right, and they then lose points and you get a point. If they get it right, they get double the points. So yeah, that's how we're doing it. I found this one on GameSpot. So if you want to look up the Marvel Cinematic Universe trivia, it's over there on GameSpot. I'll drop a link in the YouTube channel.
For people who are playing, don't look at the answers, cheaters.
No. So let's see. How is everybody on the screen? Because that's how we pick. It goes IC first, Masonic Vader second, and Super third. So you got the first question, IC.
Do it.
All right. Prior to Tom Holland taking the role of Spider-Man, How many actors have played Spider-Man on the big screen in the U.S.?
I feel like this is a trick question because I want to say 2, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Yeah, I'm just leaving it at the 2. I mean, as stars of the franchise, just the 2.
So 2 is your answer.
Correct.
Yes, that's correct.
God, why did you have to do a 2-minute explanation? Just say the answer. Dang it.
I felt like it was a trick question. I thought it was going to be like, oh, there was a 1987 version with somebody you've never heard of.
Moving on real quick. Masonic Vader, what movie did Thanos first appear in?
Oh, that would be Guardians of the Galaxy. Volume 2.
Wrong.
Damn it.
It was Avengers.
Which one was
In credits.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Avengers
Yeah.
2, you said?
No, first one, post-credit.
First one. Okay. I knew it was one of those 2.
All right. Super. Aside from Stan Lee, which actor has appeared in the most MCU films?
Aside from Stan Lee, which actors appeared in the most MCU films?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Evans.
It is Robert Downey Jr.
Damn it. I knew it was one of those 2. But I thought Chris Evans because he was in Fantastic Four.
Back to you, IC. In Guardians of the Galaxy, what is the name of the dog in the collector Tanelier Tivian's museum?
Oh, crap. It's the Russian dog. I can't think of his name. I'm going to give it a duh.
To who?
Super.
Super. A duh.
All right, say it one more
What's the
time.
name of the dog in the collector's museum in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I have no idea. I barely remember that movie.
It is the first. We currently have a negative point score for somebody. Super has a -1. Ian, you get the point for getting her. It is Cosmo the space dog, and I have his pop.
I should have figured out Cosmo. I knew it was a Russian space dog.
Yeah.
Masonic Vader, how many versions of the Iron Man armor has Tony Stark made?
Oh shit. 42.
Close. It was
46?
It was 50.
Was it 50? Okay.
See, nobody trusts
with
your
the,
guys' answers. They're not trying to swoop on them.
With the house party protocol? Yeah.
Super. I didn't get an easy one here. So, what does the acronym SHIELD stand for?
SHIELD. What does SHIELD stand for?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't watch the show.
Oh, damn it.
You can use your duh if you think somebody doesn't know it.
I figured they would know it. To be honest, I thought I was the only one that wouldn't.
Okay, so she's just taking the staying with the negative point. It's Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division.
And the E was the only one I couldn't remember.
And they stand for truth and justice. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, just call it SHIELD. It's easier.
IC Zorro. How many one-shot short films were made?
What? One-shot short films? I don't even know what that is.
There was short films made about characters that fell away from the film.
I'm gonna guess 5. I don't know.
That's right.
Yes.
There was The Consultant, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer, Item 47, Agent Carter, and All Hail the King. Which you haven't checked them out. Yeah. Masonic Vader. How many Infinity Stones are there in the MCU?
6.
Swoop.
Yes. Whoop.
Did I go one off? I did, didn't I? 1, 2, 3.
No, it's 6. Yeah, you're right.
6.
All right, cool. Sweet. I was counting. I almost said 5, but I remember there was one on the thumb in there. No, I said the answer. I said
and then I swooped it.
That's why you guys use your swoops if you think it's right. But he can't.
I thought you were supposed to use the swoops before they answer it.
No.
You never explained.
No, you can do it beforehand or after. But now you guys, and I've explained that. So,
No.
all right.
It's It's not just that I know the trivia; it's that I play the game well.
Super. What is
Shut
the
your
name?
mouth.
What is Super? What is the name of Jane's sidekick played by Kat Dennings in Thor?
Jane's sidekick. I can picture the character. I can picture the face, but her name is absolutely forgettable to me. Yeah, I have no idea.
It's Darcy Lewis. Back to IC. What is the name of Ben Kingsley's Iron Man 3 character who was hired to play the Mandarin?
Trevor.
And
Do I have to know his last name? I know.
Yes.
Trevor's pretty good. Come on.
the
No.
answer is both. That's what's on this quiz. Do you not know his last name?
I just know Trevor. It's something. It's
I'm
like
not giving you a point.
yeah, it's some weird English name. I don't know.
All right, Masonic Vader. You don't get a point. It's Trevor Slattery.
Yeah.
Masonic Vader. What's the name of the Super Soldier Project in Captain America: The First Avenger? Ruru knew the answer. Not for yours, for Icy Zoros.
No, and I. Damn it! It's been too long since I've watched. I can't remember.
I'm just getting a timer for you guys.
Right?
Call it the Super Soldier Project. There you go, because I can't remember it.
Weapon X.
No, it's Project Rebirth. I figured you guys would know these things better.
It's
You've been
the secret of views.
It's been a while since I've watched most of these old ones, so I don't remember them as well. Like
Super.
the fine details.
Super.
Good
What
thing
was
is
the
I'm
first?
still in second.
Yeah, you are, because she still got a negative point. Super. What was the first film of Phase 3 of the MCU?
First film of Phase 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, probably Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 or 2.
No, it's got to be one or the other.
I'm going with 2.
It was Captain America: Civil War.
Mm.
And this is why we do trivia, guys, to see how wonderful these people are.
That was the first one after Ultron. Yeah.
Icy Zoro, what alien race does Ronan the Accuser belong to?
The Kree.
Swoop.
There you go. Well played.
Yes.
Give my point back. Now tied for first. Yes.
No, you're not. He's got 3 points to your 1.
Oh, you got the double, yeah.
Masonic Vader, how many characters in the MCU have been recast?
3.
3? It is 5. 5 are Hulk, War Machine, Fandral, Thanos, and Howard Stark.
I was going to say 4.
Wait, Thanos?
Yeah.
It wasn't originally Josh Brolin.
When you very first see him,
CGI.
it's not Josh Brolin. No. So,
I don't remember who it was, but
Super, who has directed the most MCU movies?
who has directed the most MCU? Kevin Feige.
He runs it.
I don't think he's directed
He's not
any
the
of them.
director. Okay.
Director.
I don't know.
At least you know that name. Good for you.
Yeah.
It's Feige.
Feige, however you say it.
I know I'm not going to get the points, but can I guess the Russo brothers?
Yeah, it was the Russo brothers. So, Icy Zoro, what virus was Pepper Potts injected with in Iron Man 3?
Oh, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was the thing that Guy Pearce was trying to use to blow up soldiers. It was also supposed to be healing.
Good description.
I don't remember.
What to do? I asked what's the name of it.
Yeah, I'm just talking through it as I'm trying to think of what the name was, but I can't remember what the name was. We are
Liquid magma.
Just give me an answer.
Project Rebirth. Nope.
It's extremists. We're going SARS is what Red Meat says.
Yeah.
Swine flu.
Kung flu, Ebola, typhus, tuberculosis. It was HP.
Masonic Vader still has a duh. Super Hoovian still has a swoop and a duh. Masonic Vader. Who did Tony Stark think Stan Lee was during his Iron Man cameo?
He was Hugh Hefner.
That's right.
Yes.
Nice.
Vader's behind by 1 point. Who plays the voice of the artificial intelligence in Peter Parker's spider suit?
I don't know. Pass it to Vader.
Vader, who plays the voice of the artificial intelligence
I'm like,
in
I
Peter
have no
Parker's
idea.
spider suit?
Yeah, you suck. It's a great voice. It's Friday. That's her name.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can
can't think of
picture
the
it.
person, I can't think of the person's name who does it though.
The funny thing is, I did not know that this was the person that
Is
did
it
the voice.
is it the T-Mobile girl?
No.
Oh,
So you don't have an answer, Vader?
No, I don't have an answer.
Okay, so Super's going to get a point back, so she's back to 0. Vader loses a point and goes back to 1. And the funny thing about this, it's Jennifer Connelly, who
It is.
yeah,
I
which
love
is
Jennifer Connelly too.
she was married to Paul Bettany, who's Vision and was the other was the voice
nice.
of Jarvis. So I'm like, that's kind of cool. I never knew that. See, I'm learning things too, guys.
They're an AI. They're an AI dream team.
Rurutu said Jarvis's wife.
There
That's
you go.
Yeah, but he said it in the weird weeaboo.
Waifu.
Waifu. Wifey.
I see. What do the Avengers eat after the Battle of New York in the Marvel's The Avengers?
Shawarma.
Swoop.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Somebody's...
It's coming back on me.
Yep.
And
now answer, what is shawarma?
It's delicious.
You want me to go into detail? Because it is delicious.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to rig a way to make shawarma at home.
Well, actually, that looks like that's it.
Just need a giant rotisserie.
Because the last question was for TV shows. This is what I'll do. I will give this last question and see if IC can get it. And if he can't, I will give it to a tiebreaker for Masonic and Sarah or Super to see who takes second. How many TV shows exist in the MCU? IC Zoro.
Let's see here. Agents of Shields. We've got the 4 Defenders seed shows plus Defenders itself. Are we counting Runaways? It's Marvel's Runaways, so that would be 7. Yeah, let's go 7.
That is wrong. What about you, Masonic Vader? What do you think?
Okay, Agents. I'm going to go with 8 because that includes Peggy Carter.
And Super, what's your guess?
Oh, and then
9?
There was an Eternals one too.
Yeah, the 11. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
11.
Agent Carter, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Punisher, Inhumans.
Oh,
Defenders,
Punisher. I forgot Punisher.
Defenders, Cloak and Dagger, and The Runaways.
Yeah.
So,
I remembered Cloak and Dagger, and I forgot Punisher.
I forgot.
Ruru 2 wins. Ruru 2 wins because he says trick question. It's 0 because Feige doesn't care about TV.
Yeah, that's it.
But Icy Zoro, you win another round of
Nice.
What's Your Geek Knowledge?
Next time, Gadget. Next time.
Okay. So that was the trivia. It'll get cut down immensely in the slow spots.
No worries.
Yeah, that was for people to laugh at and get mad and yell at the screen because you're not getting the answers right. So let's get into the nerd news.
Absolutely.
All right, this is rapid fire. We have 4 stories that looked interesting, but they weren't detailed into like spend 5 minutes talking about them or anything like that. So I'm just going to tell what the story is, what happened, and the rapid fire portion is hopefully the people on our cast can go quick on their reactions to it, so we don't go into these long, deep conversations about it. So, rapid fire number 1. Casting. Ghostbusters 3 casts Paul Rudd to play a teacher. Thoughts?
Love Paul Rudd. Watch him in anything.
Yeah, exactly. He will take nothing away from the movie. He will just add everything
Hopefully,
that you needed.
Go
Hopefully he's the son of the EPA Peck. Because you gotta have Peck in there.
Okay. There's rapid fire number 1. Rapid fire number 2. Bill and Ted 3 has casting as well. Actors Amy Stotch and Hal Landon Jr. have signed to reprise their roles as Bill's mom's Missy and Ted's strict father, as well as Beck Bennett of Saturday Night Live is joining the cast playing Ted's younger brother Deacon. And they have recast the princesses again. So for the third time, two different actors are playing the princesses. Thoughts, Masonic?
Misty's back. That's all I gotta say.
Super thoughts.
I can't be disappointed.
I see Zorro. Thoughts.
You remember when she was a senior and we were freshmen? Shut up, Ted. Shut up, Ted. I love it. Love it.
Your mom's hot.
Hey, Missy. I mean, Mom.
Okay.
Now it's going to be, hey, Missy. I mean, Grandma.
Rapid fire number 3. People have taken the Smuggler's Run ride at Galaxy's Edge to literally mean being a smuggler, as if it's not stapled down, nailed down, or held in place somewhere, people are stealing the stuff and selling it on eBay. The coasters from the cantina are going for upwards of $10. The menus are going for $40. And the sporks, you heard that right, the sporks are going for $7 on eBay. Nobody said anything yet if they're going to stop them or not.
Well, I didn't want you to talk about it because I have a bid on one of the menus. You know what? As sad as it is, it makes sense. In this time and age, this is all stuff that in 20 years, 30 years might be worth money. Even though if you are watching it and you are interested, I do have a 10-year anniversary shirt for Star Wars from Disneyland when Star Tours first came out, 75 to 85.
Nobody cares about Star Tours stuff.
Not a rapid response.
That was not, yes.
Oh, it's like your answer at the beginning. Well, I started off with this and then it went that way, but let me give you the answer eventually.
Red Meatballs, this is true or false? This is true. This is 100% true.
Rapid response to everybody stealing everything from the Star Wars Smuggler's Run. Hey, I thought they patted you down when you got out. How'd you get that ashtray out of here? I know.
It's sad.
Well, someone stole my camera. Where are you going with that camera? Come back here.
Super. What's your response to this?
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Disney can eat the cost, but it's pretty crappy. It's pretty crappy.
It's amazing. Well, that ashtray is. I'm amazed that they didn't see that coming.
Yeah, they said they were going to make it an immersive experience, and people just took it to heart. So
they're probably going to find stashes in the little boxes of Millennium Falcon.
It's like you guys said Smuggler's Run. I thought this was an RPG server.
Okay, rapid fire nerd news number 4. Joss Whedon has a new show for HBO. He is doing a new sci-fi series for HBO with a member of Outlander cast in the lead. The Nevers is the name of the show. It is a science fiction drama about a gang of Victorian women who find themselves with unusual abilities, relentless enemies, and a mission that might change the world. He says The Nevers is maybe the most ambitious narrative I've created. It's been too long since I created an entirely new fictional world. Laura Donnelly from Outlander is cast in as one of the series leads. And what he says is going on behind the camera is he will serve as executive producer, showrunner, writer, and director on the series. Bernie Caulfield, Jane Espenson, and Doug Petrie will executive produce. Espenson and Petrie, both Buffy alumni, will also write.
And Angel, yeah.
Yeah. So, super thoughts.
I'm so fling and excited. I can't wait for this series.
Okay.
I had to keep it clean.
We got our new phrase for.
This is flipping awesome.
Yeah.
To go along with that, cream's my cheese.
It's like we're on YouTube right now.
I'm so flinging. That's a new shirt I did, folks. I'm so flinging excited. Masonic Vader, thoughts?
Yeah, see what happens. I'm not, it's HBO. It's gonna be like 4 years from now.
That's
No,
George
that's-
R. R. Martin.
That's just the writing of George R. R. Martin.
Not the HBO series. I see Zorro, thoughts.
I mean, it's the same thing as with the Paul Rudd item. Love Joss Whedon. We'll watch anything he does. He essentially created a period piece Buffy. Espensen's involved, so I'm in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, that's the rapid fire segment of Nerd News. We'll get better at it as we come across these things more often. On the subject of regular nerd news, we have two things to talk about. First and foremost, so they're looking at, with the success of Detective Pikachu, that hey, we can have decent video game properties being made because look, Detective Pikachu did it. So where's the forefront go with this? They're developing, there's 2 video game television shows in development right now. The first is kind of a question mark, and the second is an interesting concept. The first is Final Fantasy XIV, which is an MMO, is being developed into a live action television show. What do you guys think?
Cricket.
I mean, okay, so yeah, weird that they're developing an MMO, but I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because it's open-ended story, so they can continue talking about whatever forever. But like, that's Final Fantasy XIV is one of the least beloved Final Fantasy games. Why would you pick that?
Exactly. That's the weird thing, because it's like, I mean, it got a resurgence later, but it's not the story that's most. And the other thing is live action. That they've never gone into this foray, even when they did their films. The one
Which
movie
bankrupted them.
one bankrupted them, and I thought the second one I still liked. That was the sequel to Final Fantasy VII. But I'm just assuming it's cheaper to use live people as opposed to all the CGI and all the computer graphics.
Probably.
Jack says it can't be worse than the Seeker TV show.
At least Bridget Regan was in that. She was lovely.
That's a pretty low bar to set.
Yes,
Can it be
That
worse
show
than
was awful.
Aragon? Can it be worse than Aragon?
I never
Hold
actually.
my beer.
Right.
If you didn't
Yeah.
see it, there's your first bad movie recommendation of the night.
Yeah,
That
Ruby is doing
movie-
Head in Hands. I don't think he likes that they're going. I mean,
Well,
I think when you're going TV, it's a better concept than film,
Mhm.
because you can
Yeah.
hopefully have enough time to get the story right, unless it's canceled after like 2 episodes or something like that.
Well,
Dude.
and they're basing this off the success of Detective Pikachu. Okay, so one video game movie ever has succeeded.
But that's how Hollywood works, don't you know? It's like once something goes good, it's like, oh crap,
Jump
Yeah,
on
they're
it.
just-
it changed.
At
It's-
that point, it's a race to the bottom of the trash pit.
Yes.
So are they going to cast Ryan Reynolds in it? Because that's what made Pikachu.
Ryan Reynolds will never go back to television again. He's basically made that abundantly clear.
Yeah.
I even actually
After-
asked him
After
that.
2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place.
Exactly. I actually asked him that at a con, if he would do sitcom again, and because it was only after he had done Blade 2, and he had done we were there for the release of Not
He was
American.
Blade 3.
Oh, Blade 3, sorry. Blade 3, and then the Amityville Horror. We were there for Amityville Horror, and that's when I asked him if he preferred movies or sitcoms, would he ever go back to sitcom? And he's just like, no, I don't. He doesn't like sitcoms. He will not go back to television.
Gotcha.
He did his what he wanted to there. So
Who
he's
blames him? I mean, what you do? It takes 3 months to film a movie. Well, maybe 3. Well, 3 months may be the long end. Anywhere between 1 to 3 months to film a movie, and it takes like 5 or 6 months to finish the movie, and then he goes to his premiere. I mean, dude, that's the life I want to lead to make that much money versus season by season by season and 15 episodes, 20
Yeah.
episodes.
Locked
Yeah,
in.
Rutu says, "Give me anime." Has anyone seen Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive? I saw the trailer for it, and it
I
looked
didn't.
amazing. He said that movie looks so beautiful. Jack wants another Pac-Man TV show, only if it's live action.
Yes, yes, with David Crosby starring, or not David Crosby, David Cross starring as Pac-Man. That'd be awesome.
Pac-Man live action, better or worse than live action Mario? The movie.
Captain Lou
Can't possibly
Albano,
be
man.
worse.
Hey, no, he played a great Mario back in the day.
You're talking about the TV show? Do the
Oh,
Mario.
yeah.
Dude,
My kid
do the
watches that.
Mario. Okay, other
Ah.
show that's being made. This one actually, I got weirded out by it. I think it sounds like a really cool, interesting idea, but at the same time, I was weirded out because there's like a show that was announced on E3 that's being made that's like a farce of this type of stuff. But it is called Masters of Doom, and it's a show. It's not a reality show. It's a show based off of basically the people that created Doom and Wolfenstein and that studio and how they went about getting him made, and Quake, yeah, which made it weird to me because on E3 you had that comedy show from Rob McElhenney that's basically about creators creating video games, and I'm like, so you're getting a serious, like, looks like drama style when Ubisoft just announced this satire TV show. It's like it's going to be like two competing on the same subject.
We've got the Always Sunny version with Rob McElhenney, and I'm kind of picturing that like a cross between Always Sunny and Silicon Valley. And then we're going to have this, which actually sounds interesting, but it's like the equivalent of an HBO scripted show, like serious stuff.
Yeah. Didn't Netflix just have, what was that show with the choose your own adventure kind of thing? Wasn't that what they're talking about there? Banderwidth or whatever?
Yeah,
Band.
Whatever.
Banderwidth.
Well, and this one's being done. What was it? Was it this one or Final Fantasy? I gotta look because one of these is being produced by the same company that's producing the Witcher TV show for Netflix.
I didn't realize there was so much high drama behind the scenes of making a video game.
Apparently, it's high pressure, man.
I mean, they essentially invented the first-person shooter.
Rurutu says, "I want to see the Ubisoft show be like Grandma's Boy." Oh my god, that would be fan. I love that movie so much. It's such a bad movie, but I love it.
I don't know. It's not piquing my interest. I mean, I played most of these games. It's great. I played the games, but I don't think I need to go back or I need to watch on how they made it.
Well, it depends. Which one of the Steve Jobs movies was your favorite?
Oh, God. Yeah, the Final Fantasy film is being made in partnership with Hivemind, which is the production company doing The Witcher for Netflix, and I'm excited for that one. So, but I think they're basing it more off the books as opposed to the video game. They're just using the Witcher name of the video game to get more hype for it. And then Masters of Doom is based on the making of video games, and it's based off of a book by David Kushner that follows the formation of ID Software, id Software. So their development of their shooters.
I mean, that interesting. I'm going to watch it probably.
Oh, and that was the other thing. James and Dave Franco are the ones that want to turn it into an anthology TV series. So they're basically taking what they did with The Room and going, let's make a TV show.
I will watch it if it stars Dave, not James.
Yes.
Unless it's Pineapple Express.
Is there a video game that you think would translate well to television that should have a show made of it?
Pitfall.
Metal Gear.
The original
Pitfall? What about? Well, I don't know.
I want to see the guy jumping on alligators.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
I would have super resist, but I got a good one.
Would it ruin it if they did a live action something similar to that Link, The Adventures of Zelda?
Once again, that was on Mario back in '83. It was a cartoon. Come on, it was every Friday.
Well, that's why I said live action. Live action.
I want to see Frogger as a game show on the 405.
That would be hilarious.
Oh god, Rurutu says Dead or Alive beach volleyball. Only on Cinemax After Dark. Okay.
I believe that's called Pornhub.
Yeah.
I think Metal Gear would be a great series
for television because they're getting the movies. So
Are they getting the movie yet?
Yeah, they're developing a movie.
I think it would be great for television too.
Make Dead or Alive beach volleyball, make it Baywatch. Yeah, basically that's what. Yeah,
That would be hilarious.
it's just the Top Gun scene, the volleyball scene, just for 30 minutes. But with the girls.
Slider, you stink.
Yeah. And speaking of which, yeah. So Splinter Cell. I think Splinter Cell would be a good spy espionage show. You said Metal Gear, but I think Metal Gear fits better into the film tentpole. I think Splinter Cell would be a really good television series to just follow.
I think you could do Metal Gear if you in a television series, like maybe like in Netflix or one of the streaming services where you could do a show on each of the games. Because if you think about it, all the games they've had have been different periods of Solid Snake, and I think that would be a good way to have different episodes.
Red Meatpaw says, "Do you remember Leisure Suit Larry?" And that's funny.
Yes,
I was thinking King's Quest. I was thinking like the whole
King's Quest.
Oh, dude, that would be good.
Series.
Yeah, that would be good. I loved that game.
Yes, I would totally take King's Quest.
How
yeah,
about
I'm picturing it like set up like Once Upon a Time, but hopefully with better writing.
how about a live television game show, Tapper?
God.
Tapping beer, sliding down. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. The burger maker game. Just make a TV show of that.
Burger time.
Yeah, the guy just running across burgers and running away from
Oh my
Dig,
God.
pickles and
Dig Dug, blow people up by pumping them up.
If you wanted to fill,
Burger 2 says do make No Man's Sky with Bear Grylls.
that'd be funny. I mean, you've got a hole left in the fantasy world. You could take stuff from the Skyrim worlds, Mist. You could do Mist.
And once again, I think this would translate better as like a trilogy film series, but
Mist would be a very quiet TV show.
It would, but Skyrim, there's a lot of content there you could pull from. I mean, it's got dragons. HBO is going to be missing their dragons, so.
Ooh, Gabriel Knight series. I'm just going back to all the Sierra stuff in my head now.
Oh my god, yeah. And then Red Meat Bus's Seventh Guest Mist. The Seventh Guest I think would do better as just a film, but yeah. Let us know what your thoughts
How
are.
about you do Ghosts and Goblins, and when they do get hit, their armor falls off. Go for it.
Just trying to make those Pornhub films.
Every show that Masonic pitches starts with a dum dum dum.
Brown chicken.
All right, last story. Last major story to talk about. So James Wan, who created the whole Conjuring universe, so he created the Conjuring films, the Nun, the Annabelle films, and he went and directed Aquaman. And then they said, okay, we're going to let you, Aquaman did fantastic. We're going to have you do Aquaman 2. And that was awesome. Well, it turns out that his next film for DC is not Aquaman 2, it's The Trench. He is expanding the Aquaman universe like he has done with the Conjuring films. He is going to do a horror style film in the DC universe that follows the trench scene, what kind of the story that came behind that with those creatures, for his next film. So just kind of wanted to get what you guys thought on that. Do you think DC's ready for, I mean, clearly they're ready for a horror series, but they canceled it immediately because Swamp Thing was doing so well. But
DC Extended Universe at this point is like cooking pasta and trying to figure out if the noodles are ready. Throw something at the wall and see what sticks.
Anybody else?
I thought they had a horror film. It was that CGI of Superman's mustache, but you know, it's no, I don't get it. I mean, well, I get it, I guess. Wait, they're holding up production with Aquaman. They're not going to have it come out right now. They're trying to figure out everything with the Justice League and how they're resituating themselves, which is kind of like, to myself, a bad idea because as you've kind of seen, Jason Momoa has already started putting his name out there for other films because he's not going to wait 6 or 7 years to reprise a role because he's got to make money. So it's kind of it's smart on their end because they want to try to produce a movie that'll fill in until they figure their stuff out. At the same time, it's stupid as all hell because now you're one of your main guys who should stay in the updated Justice League, wherever they're all going to do, is probably going to find himself a new title character to run with and just leave Aquaman behind.
Well, no, he's locked and loaded into Aquaman 2. It's just Aquaman 2 is not going to come out till 2022, I think is what they're expecting on it.
I don't remember.
That's what they said, but let's be perfectly frank. Can you take DC or Warner Brothers, whoever the hell is producing it, for their word right now? The DC franchise is such a wreck right now. It's because
they got rid of DCEU. There is no DCEU. That does not exist anymore. Now it's just make projects that seem cool. They don't care about this extended universe tied together cinematic thing. They're just looking at making things that look entertaining or look good. What James Wan said is we're still deep in sort of crafting the script, crafting the story right now. So I don't want to get into that too much, but definitely it's one that I really want to lean into the horror of it. So it's going to play more as a monster horror movie than it will as a superhero film, but it's still definitely part of the Aquaman world. I mean, one of the big things that was said, and this was with the interview with comicbooks.com, but one of the cool things that was stated about this is it's letting James Wan dip the two waters that he's dipped his toes in with the Aquaman film and the Conjuring series. He's getting to bring those two together and kind of, we'll see if he can blend the two together. It might be interesting.
Superhero horror suspense. That could work.
Well, he's very good. He's very good.
Ruru2 posted a link to the Justice League Superman mustache picture in the chat room for you, Masonic Vader.
We didn't see enough of the movie.
Oh man, he looks like Freddie Mercury.
Oh my God, he does. I don't think we saw enough of the monsters outside of the one that Julie Andrews played. At the end, what was the
one actress that they've said is coming back?
Yeah, and so it'll be interesting if they can tie it in with the mythos of maybe how they got, how she came to guard. Which
is what I'm assuming is going to be kind of the basis, but
that could be pretty cool. I mean, the monsters themselves, we didn't get to see enough of them, but it was pretty freaky. That scene where they dive off the boat, the two of them, and they're using the light, and you just see all of them swarming around. That's a little terrifying. It reminded me of the movie Pitch Black when they're running through the planet and they all have their light flashlights out, and then but you just look around and the entire planet is covered with monsters outside of that one little area. That's creepy, Yeah. And so I'm not going to write it off.
If it is a prequel, it would fall into the horror vein well because nobody has survived the trench. That's why they sent him there, except for, Aquaman and
Nicole Kidman.
Could it be, so maybe we'll see both of those. We'll kind of see, and then maybe it'll end with how Nicole Kidman's character made it through, and boom. Kind of like a little prequel to Aquaman, so to speak.
So it's going to be a movie of a bunch of monsters just slashing and killing people in a trench.
It's underwater I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Starring Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, and they're saying producer Peter Safran said that they were interested in exploring the story, even from the early concepts of making Aquaman. And once Aquaman did 1.1 billion in the box office, they decided to move forward with the spin-off idea because they went cash cow.
Which makes sense because that right there made the movie, right? That was that last $1 million, I guess. I don't know. When I keep thinking about this, it looks like a stall tactic. It was a great scene and everything, but you're making a movie off of that. To me, it doesn't make sense. I don't see where they can go with it. I don't see how they could tie it in. It's just going to be a one-off, and it's a waste of time. They should focus their efforts on fixing. If you don't want to bring the DCU,
I think they are focusing their efforts on fixing right now. The projects that are lined up look like good projects. They've kind of trashed everything else that looked like it was gonna,
suck.
Not do well. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
They should stick to television. They're good at television.
They are.
It depends. comic book fans don't agree, as our friends from Turbo Comics say. But yeah, I wanted to get the thoughts on that. Let us know what you think of if James Wan should just go straight into Aquaman 2, or if it sounds interesting. I think it sounds interesting. I think it's.
I'm willing to toss it $15 and check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to write it off immediately.
Yeah,
But
'cause
I'm not buying concessions for that though. $15 is it.
Yeah, it says Rurutu says, "Let's be real." AT&T bought WB. Kevin Teixeira got fired. Tajara got fired. They don't know who else will be fired at Warner Brothers, and they just put somebody the first female in charge ever at Warner Brothers. They just did that, so that's awesome too. So they're making changes. They're working on stuff. Some for not the best. I'm looking at you, Warner Brothers, for skipping out on Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con this year. You're a mainstay. You're supposed to be there every year.
Yeah. All I got to say is I'll see this movie, the Aquaman movie, before I ever spend money in the theater to go see the Kristen Stewart-led Charlie's Angels.
Oh
What?
my god! Yeah,
we're not even there. We're not even gonna go there.
Yeah.
That's our cast. That's our cast for this week. Let us know what you guys thought about the new segment of the Rapid Fire Nerd News and other things. We'll be back next week on Twitch, twitch.tv/Malice Corp at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or you can check us out on anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Make sure wherever you're listening to us or checking us out that you are hitting the subscribe button, that you're dropping a review or commenting or interacting. And if you just don't want to subscribe to something, but you want to come and chit chat and interact and drop cool stories or funny memes that you see or GIFs or whatever, head over to facebook.com/groups/all things nerd podcast and interact with us over there. If you want to interact with anybody else here on the cast, let's say where people are at so you can come chit chat with them. Masonic Vader, where can people interact with you outside of this cast?
Masonic Vader on Twitter, Masonic Vader 71 on PlayStation Network. Come join me for Fallout 4 Battle Royal as I take out zombies and other people with snipers and boringness of 20 minutes.
Icy Zora, what about you? Where can people follow you?
At Icy Zora on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and PlayStation Network.
Okay. And Super?
You can come follow me on Twitter at SuperHoovianNut or on Instagram at SuperHoovianFreak, and come talk to me about literally any other movie you would rather see Patrick Stewart and Elizabeth Banks starring together. We'll talk it up. It'll be fun.
She's referring to Charlie's Angels again.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I saw the preview. Horrible.
And yes. And if you want to follow me, you can check me out on Twitter at @mest_Malice Corp or on Instagram at mest5150, or follow my further nerd and geek adventures at Geek Guidepost on YouTube, as new videos will be coming up on that. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, you keep nerding on, and we will see you next week.
Gary.
Later.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.